Hello and welcome to the Recruitment Coach Podcast with me, Martin Hodgkinson. And today we're going to be talking about the tool that I use to help my clients rank their recruiters. When I go and work with clients, they don't know how they would rank their recruiters. They'll have a loose idea, but they wouldn't have a hard and fast list of where they put every single recruiter on that list. They'd mostly be going off of billings, and then they would have some kind of movement in there depending on the type of activity and the quantity of activity that the recruiters are doing. But there's no set framework around how they would rank or group their recruiters. So the first thing I do is talk to them about the performance versus behavior matrix. Now this is a 9-box grid. So along the side we have performance, and along the bottom we have behaviors. Now when I talk about behaviors, I'm talking about the core values and the effort and the attitude that they're putting in and bringing into work every single day. So we've got those people that at one end would be just meeting every single core value. They live and breathe the core values. They come in, they're positive, they're striving to be the best they can be. They motivate people, and they're just a real asset to the team. On the other end, we have those people who are just really negative, they're down and out. They turn up late consistently, if they turn up at all. Just they bring with them that bad energy to the office. And the performance is obviously around billings, but it's also then got in there their activity levels and the quality of the work they're doing. So these 9 boxes, we split them up, we number them. Box 1 is very low performance and very low behaviors. So these are the kind of people that we just don't want in the business because they're not performing, they're not bringing any money, and they're not bringing any sort of vibes, any energy, any positivity to the team. They're just not showcasing the values that you want in your team. And we've moved to box number 2 along the bottom. So again, it's poor performance, but they're kind of meeting the core values. They don't do anything negative. They don't bring any extra energy. They turn up on time. They probably leave on time. But they're not really making the money that you'd hope. So this could typically be a new starter, or it could be somebody that is not striving to be the best, but then also they're not even achieving average. They might need something there. You might need to dive into them a little bit to find out what actually motivates them, because they've got the core values, they've got the base level of behaviors, but the performance isn't just there. So what do we need to do here? We need to boost them somehow, and if there isn't a way to boost them, then do they stay there? And then go along one more. We've got box 3, and we've got amazing behaviors. So they're just showcasing those core values. They're really positive. Everyone loves having them around, but they're just not performing. Now, these people typically, they're great people and we really like them. And the only reason they're still in the business is people really like them and we don't want to let them go. But chances are they're just not very good at recruitment. So that doesn't mean that we necessarily need to get rid of them. They might just need a different seat in the office. It might be that actually their skill set isn't recruitment, but it is in marketing or is in the finance or compliance team. So before we just shut the door on them completely, let's just do a skills analysis on them and work out where they might be better. Or it might be that actually they are just missing a couple of skills that can be trained up. So these people are people we really want to keep around, but we have to really assess as to whether we should keep them around or not. But again, they might be a new starter as well, and they're really keen and they're brilliant for the organisation, but they've only just started. They haven't had time to bill the money that is needed. Then box 4. So in the middle, the first box in the middle, we've got core behaviours, kind of average billings and activity levels. So these people here, we know they can do the job because they're not bringing the right behaviours, but they're making money. They're an average biller. What is it that we need to do to sort these behaviours out? It might be that they are just sat next to the wrong person, or they're friends with the wrong people in the business. So they're friends with box number 1, and they're bringing them down. And actually, if we move them, seat them next to somebody that's performing really well and showing the right values and behaviours, actually they're not in box 4 at all. They're far higher up. So here we need to have some hard conversations around their behaviours, their attitudes, their core values. And if we move to the very middle box, number 5, so this is average behaviours, average billing. Here, these are people that they're no problem. They cause you no hassle. They're Mr. or Mrs. Grey, if you like to call it that. So they turn up, they're on time, they're never late, they never leave early. They're always there, they're always dependent and reliable. They're not overly positive, but they don't bring a negative energy with them. They just kind of blend in, and they're billing okay. So they often get forgotten because they're just kind of there, and they're not causing any problems, but they're never excelling. So here we need to really work out what we're doing with them, because they're fine. If that's where they want to stay, and they always just want to bill a certain amount of money and have hassle-free, fine. These people are great to have. But what is it they actually want? Do they want to progress their career? Do they want to be better? And they're just getting missed out because they're sitting bang in the middle, and actually we need to spend a bit more time with them? Or are they a good candidate to have as a team leader, and they just didn't realise that that's what they needed, and we need to then work on making them more of a positive influence and more motivated so that they can move through the boxes so they're not in the middle. Then we come to number 6. So these are the people with fantastic behaviours. Like I said before, they're always in early. They might leave late. They come with really good energy. Everybody loves them. They're always helping people out, cheering people on, and they're billing pretty well. So these are the people I like to think of as your future leaders. So I've spoken about this before in one of my previous podcasts, but these are sort of these are the future billing managers, the team leaders, because they can do the job, but they've also got great interpersonal skills, and they're driving the business forward with the right attitudes and behaviours and core values. So these are the people we need to start looking at. Maybe they want team leader training, or if they want to actually become one of the top billers, they've definitely got the aptitude for it. They just might need a little bit of tweaking on. Then we go box number 7. These are people that are billing really well, but their attitudes and behaviours aren't great. And these people often stay for a very long time because they're billing really well. But nobody really likes having them in the business, but they never get let go because they're making lots of money. So we need to have really hard conversations with these people, because they could have a huge negative impact on your business. Because if people don't want to be around them, they're not as happy in the office. And there's like a dark cloud that comes into the office when they come in. But also it might train some of the people to do things the wrong way, because that person's doing really well and they're doing it that way and they're getting away with it. So why shouldn't they do it? So we've got box 7. Box 8, again, is the people that are just doing really, really well. And their behaviours are exactly what you'd expect. But they're not striving for loads more. Their core values are okay. They're not just flowing out of them. They don't bring loads of energy either way, negative or positive, but they're billing really well. These are fantastic people. These are people that potentially could be a leader, but again, also, they might just need a bit more of drive. They might need some incentive to push them further, because they're already billing really well, so why do they need to work much harder? And then we've got box number 9. These are really rare. So these are the people that are showing all of the core values. They're really positive. Everyone loves having them around. They are the epitome of what you think a great recruiter is. And they've got the activity and the billings to go along with it. If you find one of these, keep hold of them. Keep them happy, because they are like gold dust. They're the unicorn. And everyone should aspire to be these people. So there's your 9 boxes. Each different box has a different pathway, shall we call it, a different journey that they need to take in the L&D cycle. So you've got poor behaviours, which need to have a hard conversation and potentially managed out of the business. You've got high behaviours, the really good behaviours, people that we need to keep hold of, potentially reposition in the business, either through into management or into a different department, maybe not recruiting, but somewhere else in the business, where their passions and skill sets might lie. And then we've got the different levels of billings and activity. So there's some framework here around how you would rank and group these recruiters in your business. So now, before you start creating your L&D strategy and start to invest in training, but putting all your recruiters on this grid into these boxes and see what training really needs to be delivered and who it needs to be delivered to, because you might be surprised. So that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then subscribe, follow me on LinkedIn, follow me on TikTok at Recruitment Coach Martin. And if you want to see how I can help your business grow through learning and development, then drop me a message. Catch you next time.